I've made this campaign about the fresh start that London needs. If any subject you look at, Londoners will tell you they want to move in a different direction. I've had a great time because I've been able to garner support from people who traditionally wouldn't even vote. So there's been a lot of conversations around what direction do you want to move in? Okay, I think I'll vote this time round. And I rate the campaign because we've been able to reach deep into communities. I've spoken to all manner of groups, from female pressure groups to religious groups to people who are into urban wildlife. I've just spoken to everyone, and it's been really interesting. One of the things that has really kept me going is actually been the support from the party. So the current Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, we all know he was Mayor of London. He is laser-like focused on this. We then have the local associations, who were the people who selected me. They have supported me all the way through. And the London MPs in particular have done so much work to help me raise money, help me deliver leaflets, organise Zoom meetings for me, all kinds of stuff. So from our side, the support has been big, really big. Will Boris be out with me on the campaign train? Absolutely. He's already been out with me 4 times, but of course COVID has limited that, and we've done a few Zoom things together, so technically 6 times. But absolutely he'll come out. I mean, for 2 reasons. 1, we're pals and he wants to come out with me, and 2, he likes campaigning, so you definitely will see him out with me. If this long campaign, to delay it and everything has taken a toll on me, it's probably been mostly in my family. I have a 11-year-old son and my daughter's just turned 14, and it has taken me away from my home life far more than my normal job would. And I do sometimes feel like I owe, particularly my son, because he's so young, I owe him the time back. But from a work point of view, I've always had to work hard. When you come from where I come from, I was born to a single parent. My mother and my brother and myself, we struggled. I'm used to hard work. It reminds me of when I was at university, for instance. I had to work the entire time through university, and I just worked and got on with it. It's the thing that my mother taught me, and the thing that I've tried to hold on to. At some point, you're going to have to work hard. And this hard work for me, it's the norm. But also it's been pleasurable in some ways as well. I won't say it hasn't been tough, of course it has, but it's been pleasurable in some ways, and mainly because I've met so many good people. I cannot express to you the depth and the quality and the sheer volume of wonderful people in London, and this campaign has given me the opportunity to meet them, and I've really, really enjoyed that. If you look at what's happened in London, the big thing is crime, and my specific plan to target crime, you can break down into 2 categories. So one is policing, and the other is societal. So the first thing is must back the police. One of the signature pieces, I think, of Sadiq's failure is not to back the police. He decides when he will and won't throw them under the bus. I'll always be a critical friend to the police. So 9 times out of 10, I will back them. That's why you hear me talk about 8,000 extra officers on the street. It's why you hear me talking about putting CCTV cameras on every bus stop so women and girls can feel safe in London. They could be looked after. But also, you also see me looking at the other end, providing 4,000 youth workers in London and 32 youth zones. Because 20 years of youth work shows me that if you can provide young people with inspiration and a safe space, they massively outperform, your expectations of them. So we want to build that into the DNA of London, what it is to be young in London. A police service that has no trust means everybody's at risk. And more women are coming forward saying they feel uncomfortable about the police force. I will work with that and make the changes that they need. Because when you have something go wrong in London, the first place you have to be able to go is to the police. If you have any sort of crime, if we can't trust the police, we're all in danger. So that piece of work has to be done. But leadership around the police isn't about, forming 2 committees after something's going wrong and apportioning blame. Leadership is having a conversation to mitigate the problem, to make sure the problem doesn't happen in the first place. That's what real leadership is. That means that whoever's head of the police, in this case, Sadiq Khan, he is the Police and Crime Commissioner for London, must take a leadership role. You will not solve crime in London unless we have a leader. You will not repair relationships with the police in London unless we have a leader. I think the negativity has come because of the state that London is in. When I talk about a fresh start, that is a positive statement. But of course, the reflection of that, the mirror image of that is the fact that London is in such a poor state. Record levels of crime. We haven't received any housing we were promised by the mayor. The environmental piece hasn't done properly. There's cycle lanes that could have been done so much better. All of these things are wrong in London. And I think if there's a negativity, it's around how the mayoralty of Sadiq Khan has played itself out. So anyone in this arena has to wade through that. But my response to everything in life, it comes from being a youth worker. You very quickly realise to be negative doesn't move things forward. So yes, you challenge, but you always have a path, a clear direction, a fresh start that you want to go down.